Oh,
Greg already knows.
I know. Do I
I
know?
already know.
I have made a deal with Tess Primack to record The Nightmare King as an audiobook.
Yay!
We are
Great.
Tess and I are both super, super excited. So I will be, if y'all see any reports of banks being robbed in the Plano area, I know nothing about it. But it's kind of one of these leaps of faith. It's like, I think the timing's right for Tess, and and I'll make the timing work for me. So it's all good in the hood.
It's exciting.
Let me ask you something.
Of recording these books. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Lydia.
I have to ask you something.
Lydia,
Yes.
did you and CJ get my story? I emailed it to CJ.
I haven't seen it.
No, what did you email it to?
I emailed it to you directly to your email address.
Yeah, what email address? Because I never got it.
I don't know now.
I'm going to put it in here, and I need you to resend it because I never got it.
Okay, let's do it again. Yep.
And that was
Okay.
it was Lydia's email address you asked me about the other day.
No, that was something different.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Send it to the address I just put in the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, since you have my email address now, you can just CC it to me, and one of us will get it. That's
All
awesome.
right.
Thank you, James, because I was going to ask you.
We'll respond to you when we get it so you know we have it.
Yeah. All right. Because I didn't see anything come back, and I was like, well, I wonder if I actually sent it to the right address.
No, and I'm on that email all day. I never got any of it.
All right. So I'll send it later on today or whatever.
Sounds good.
My phone won't stay up, so I'm going to take myself off video, or else you'll be looking at the ceiling a lot.
Thank you, James.
So
You're welcome.
We are now recording this, and it will be in the Facebook group, the private Facebook group. So as soon as Amy gets it downloaded and all that, or whatever she has to do, it will be in there. So welcome. We're going to talk in a minute about any new tips or any information you got from John Kramer, either from his presentation or from his website. That was your assignment this week, was to go to his website, which has, if you even glance it over, you will see how much information it has on there. So, because we are talking book marketing. Another thing I want to talk about just real quick is the whole thing about podcasts, because I have been getting lots of, we've been doing a lot of work around the podcast, the pitching, lots around pitching. So I want you to take a look at all the videos that we've had. I also want everyone to know that on this Wednesday at 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Eastern, I'm going to be meeting with David from James's, from Rock Hill Publishing. And I'm going to be meeting with him and helping him with his pitch. So if you're interested in joining us, I did ask him if it was okay if we invited other authors to be there. So I've already invited all the Rock Hill authors. If you guys want to drop in, that'll be fine. So that'll be this Wednesday at 5 o'clock our time, Central Time. I also want to say welcome to Tarina. She has officially joined us as a member of Through the Eyes of Authors. So we're so excited to have her. She's got lots of great stuff going on. She has a book that's already published that she's redoing, and she's working on some smaller novella kind of art stories. So Tarina, I'm very excited for you and can't wait to see what all that you do in your world of publishing, writing and publishing. She has an amazing, amazing story. And the cover on the book that she has now is really, really a great cover. So she plans to use that again in the future. So so we'll be talking and we'll be asking your support and your help on that. And she is talking to Texas Sisters Press. Can you tell? About helping her with her short stories. And there's the cover of her book. That's just a beautiful, Tarina, when you think of it, you don't have to do it right now, but sometime can you email me that cover? Because I'd like to show it to everybody just on the screen. I think they'll get a better glimpse at that. Also want to say that this Tuesday, which is unusual to do this on a Tuesday, but Jeremy will be launching the Kickstarter part of his month-long book launch. Okay, so the book, it's the game itself, which is a book, will be actually launched on October 8th. And that's your birthday, right, Jeremy? Or is September 8th your birthday? Jer, he must have walked away or something. Okay. Amy, can you look on Facebook real quick and tell me when is Jeremy's birthday?
I believe it's September 8th.
Oh, okay. So
I believe the
Tuesday
event says birthday party.
Okay, got it. So this Tuesday will be his birthday party and the launch of his Kickstarter. And he has got so many people joining him. He's got a huge number of people joining him as guests and visitors and whatever. Some of them are people you've already met. Some are new people. So party like it's your birthday, Lydia said. So lots of awesome stuff going on this Tuesday, September 8th at 7:30 Central Time. So a little bit different time. So we look forward to you joining us. I'll be sending out the invitations to his million number party. So your birthday's the 9th, Red. Happy birthday. Oh, I have a private party with my Wi-Fi. Woohoo. So cool. That's cool. So that is Wednesday. That's Wednesday then, right?
Yes, and the following Wednesday is her birthday, and I'm older than her by 7 days almost to the minute.
Oh my God, you guys were born in the same year and everything? Same month, same year? Where were you born? Where were you born?
I was born in Norfolk, Virginia. She was born in Corpus Christi, Texas.
Ah, okay. So you didn't know each other till later, right?
No, I didn't know each other until college time frame.
Oh, got it. Well, congratulations, Sweat. I'm excited for you. So, anybody else have any news, anything coming up that you want to? I know, Julie, we're waiting on doing the launch of your audiobook. What else do we have? Amy, what other launches do we have? CJ's launch.
Yeah,
What's the date?
That's in the email today. And then Teresa's is the 22nd so far.
Okay. Well, it won't be. I mean, we're going to have to push yours out till October, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But okay, so yes, thank you, Greg. Greg and Joanna. Joanna is the vice president of Inklings, and Joanna Jordan, and she's also teaches school in our Kingwood area and around Houston. She is the co-founder of Authorology with Greg. And they will both be on Author Talk on Monday so that they can talk about some upcoming things for Authorology. If you're not a member of Authorology, then check in with Greg because it's a private group. So if you want to join, make sure you let him know. And is there a fee to join at this time, Greg?
Facebook is free, but there is Authorology is growing, and there is I think it's a $20 membership fee, but we have a anthology contest going on right now, and that is $20 to enter, and that covers your entrance fee also.
Ah, so you join, that covers your membership then? Correct. Okay, so tell us about your competition or your entry. Tell us about the anthology. I couldn't think of that word, sorry.
It's basically a fantasy anthology, if I remember correctly. It's just a fantasy anthology. I don't know the exact number of words or anything right now.
How would we find out? Is it on the Authorology?
It is on the Authorology page. It is
okay.
An announcement. I think CJ's and LM Bands is on there also.
Okay, good. So we have 2 anthologies going on, one for Authorology, one for Texas Sisters Press. Tell us about yours, Lydia.
Ours is Christmas oriented, holiday oriented. We've got space for maybe another story or 2, but it's starting to fill up quick. We need a fully edited story that's family friendly, no later than October 1st. So if you've got one maybe that's half completed, you know, and you can pull it out and get her finished, then go for it.
That's almost a month away. So
It is, yeah.
people write full length novels in the NaNoWriMo. So
yeah, exactly. So
Please let us know as soon as possible, though, if you're planning on entering, so we can save you a spot. We had one who entered and pulled it back out, so we need to know as soon as possible so we can keep your spot open.
And how do they let you know?
email us.
Okay, you have the emails. I know you guys, there's CJ's in here. Lydia, will you put yours in as well?
Will do.
Go ahead and contact me, though, because Lydia's hands are full.
Okay.
I'm
Okay,
taking
right.
the admin.
I'm
I
book
have the
formatting
ad-
out the wazoo right now.
Yeah, I have the admin portion of it. She's going to be throwing everything together. So any contact, just send it through mine. That way I can cut her off.
Okay, that's great. Then yours is already in there. cjpetersonwrites@yahoo.com. So if you go ahead and send her an email as soon as possible to let her know you're planning. Jeremy did say he's listening in. God, I forget he works during the day. So yay, Jeremy. Okay, so Greg also says that he's looking for guest speakers for classes in authorology. There will be fees, but members will be discounted. Okay, so are you looking for people, for teachers, speakers?
I'm actually going through and I'm looking through author guest lists where you can have them come, and I might be getting one that's also a producer, so it might be able to do a class on script writing and stuff like that.
Okay, got it. That sounds perfect. So if you want Amy to do one on social media, she's got a great presentation that she's been doing. Amy and I have been asked to be part of a group, Dana, it's called the Laptop Bosses. And we're part of the teachers. We're teachers in there. And so I teach every other Tuesday. She teaches every other Tuesday on it. And so she did a great social media the other day. And a few months ago, I would have been the first to volunteer to do it for you, Greg. I'm just really I have to pay attention to clients right now. So I'm not even signing up for any podcast or anything right now. Anytime I'm working, my time will be spent on clients for the rest of this year. So Fern is going to go ahead and stay with Author Talk for me. She's also going to be helping me on Monday evenings, teaching and getting people to, getting other speakers. So basically the thing I'm going to be doing is being on Monday night. I'm going to be on everything. I'll be on Monday night and I'll be on Friday for this mastermind. I love the mastermind. I love masterminds. I think all of you have everything you need to be the best seller within you now. And my job is to help you get to that and bring that out full force, full speed ahead, give you ideas and help you come up with ways that you can do that. And one of the things I'm going to be asking you over the next few weeks is we've been doing this for 2 years. We are celebrating year 2 this month, September. And the celebrations will start this weekend. We're going to start doing the social media posts and all of that this weekend. But come on. There. But I am going to be talking to you and finding out. So over the past 2 years, we have covered pretty much anything you'd ever need to know to be a best-selling author. We've covered your email list and how to have a free opt-in. We spent weeks on that. We've covered social media. We've covered PR. We've had courses in how to be known, all kinds of things. So what I want to know from going forward for year 3 is, what do you need from me that I can provide during this, either the Friday mastermind or Monday night training. I want you to look through all of it. John Kramer was like a wrap up. I mean, he just covers everything. And he's like one of my favorite people in the world because there is no end. I mean, I have heard him when I went to Judith's event. He was in front of the room for the entire afternoon, like 1 to 5 or 4, 1 to 4, 3 or 4 hours. And the entire time people were saying, what about this? And what about this? And he had an answer. And if nobody asked a question, he still had an answer. So he's just a wealth of information. So let's talk about, I want you to think about what we can do over the next year to give you the courses that you're interested in learning more about, doing a repeat on any of the ones we've already done, although you can go watch those anytime in the membership. And so lots of stuff that we're going to be talking about throughout this month. I'm trying to get it where you can see the top of my head and not see my bookshelves above me. Anyway, so anything else, CJ? I can't wait for yours. I can't wait to read that book of yours. I want to read it. It's the first book she ever wrote, and she's now gone back and completely rewrote it and publishing it. And what is the date? 17th?
The 12th. What do we do?
Oh, wow. I was pushing it.
12
Okay.
at 1.
So your book launch will be next weekend then. Oh, yay. Yay. Okay. So next weekend, CJ's book launch. CJ, are you inviting any guests to be on your party?
Yes, I'm super excited. Besides you, Amy, and Lydia, there will be Ed Hancock. He's a friend of mine, but his books kind of border a little bit on the supernatural. So they kind of fit in. And then Jackie Smith, who is kind of well known with NYA. She's going to be on as well.
Yay. Sounds great. So that's after we have Jeremy's on Tuesday. Then we have yours on Saturday. What time?
Saturday at 1, and I'll send out the links to y'all.
Very good. Okay. So anybody else have anything going on in your marketing? Because I'm getting ready to start. I'm going to start with you, Greg, so you can say as little or as much as you want, and then you can just listen the rest of the time. You don't want me to start with you? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Okay. Greg.
Waving her hand, Sandy.
I haven't.
Hold on one second, Greg. Kathy, I'm sorry, Kathy, I didn't see you. If you can't get my attention, you guys, just speak out, because I'm looking at everybody. Okay, Kathy.
The pre-orders links are up and out for Mayflower Chronicles through bookshop.org. Which I'm highly recommending to people because a portion of their profits go into local independent bookstores. So it's available on bookshop.org, and then, of course, it's available on amazon.org. So we're getting review copies out now to libraries and bookstores and any place else we can think of to get review copies out to. The actual book launch is still targeted for October 6th. I'm a little reluctant to actually announce that publicly because COVID seems to have slowed everything down along the trail. So it was supposed to be out this week, and it got pushed back a month because of COVID and people having to work remotely and people not going into the shops to do the actual printing as much as they normally do. So anyway, it's in progress, and I'm going to do a book launch second half of October. I'm going to take advantage of Julia Connor's offer to use her new studio space. So we'll have a very small in-person guest list, and then some kind of a Facebook Live event.
Very good. So
still putting the details together on how that's going to go.
So on October 6th, what are you doing a launch that day?
Well, I'm a little reluctant to because I'm not sure the books will actually be available. So I'm looking more at around October 15th.
Okay, so just so you know, if the book is available right now for pre-order, and
it is,
right? Okay, the minute it goes off pre-order and that becomes the pub date, that's the date that all of the pre-orders count towards being a bestseller.
Oh, okay.
So if you sell 50 books in your pre-order time, then all 50 books, you get credit for all 50 on the day it goes live. And
Oh,
that means,
okay.
remember, to be a best-selling author, the bestseller ranking is based on the most number of books sold in the shortest period of time. And that will be the shortest time you'll ever sell quantities of books.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I would just keep checking it. And if it looks like it's going to be, that's going to be the date, I would definitely plan to do something on that date.
Okay, we might do a Facebook Live that event and then do a kind of a party celebration later in October then. That might work out. Okay.
That
Thank
sounds
you.
great. We can talk more about it later, Kathy.
Yeah. Thanks, Sandy.
Okay, sure. Okay, so I'm going to start with Greg again. And Greg, I wanted you to tell me one new marketing idea you have after hearing John Kramer or going to his website or just in your own general research.
Well, I wasn't here Monday night, so I really didn't get any of that information. But I mean, for me, like always, I think my newest thing right now is Etsy. I'm trying to sell on Etsy.
That's a great idea. What are you selling?
Books, koozies, but they accept books, so it's just another place to sell your books and market.
Now, so how long have you been on Etsy?
Maybe a week and a half.
Okay, so it's too early to tell the results of that yet, right? So what are you doing to promote that your book is now available on Etsy?
Basically advertised on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Are you on Pinterest?
No, I am on LinkedIn, and that's the other place I've been.
One of the things that John Kramer told us is that he sells more books on Pinterest than any other social media. So it was after I heard him speak on Pinterest at Judith Brow's event that I started helping all of our clients with their Pinterest. Now, we haven't had anybody reach the level that John Kramer is. He has 2.2 million hits each month, or whatever they call it on Pinterest. So that's a lot, and it takes a lot of promoting to get it to that point. But with Etsy, and I think Etsy and Pinterest are very similar in that it's the pictures and all this stuff. I know Etsy's the craft place, but I would also consider creating a Pinterest account and doing some of the same stuff on Pinterest that you're doing on Etsy. That's my suggestion.
I can definitely look into that. Just doing another. I mean, Etsy, I think it costs 20 cents to put something up on to sell, and it's there until it's gone. So 20 cents, I'm not going to argue with that.
Yeah, I know. Well, Pinterest is free, just like the rest of the social media ones. So, but anyway, think about it and think about adding that. Let me know if you do. I'd love to follow you and make sure we're all following you, promoting you on there.
Definitely.
Get to feeling better, and we'll be praying for you tomorrow as you go through your CT scan.
Thank you.
Delia, what's up with you? You were on Monday night, right?
Yeah, I was on Monday night. I'm just absorbing everything and, feeling like always kind of trying to catch up. But I got a lot of pointers on getting myself better with the media. And then followed after that, Cici spent some time with me in terms of, branding and platform and all that. So I'm just trying to pull it together in terms of promoting. I'm just moving forward and getting things ready that I had not gotten ready.
Okay, so Lydia's working with you on the Pinterest, right?
Yeah, she is, and she worked on my background, and I keep losing emails that she sends me because I need something going on. And I think this might not be as interesting to everybody, but I'm about to sign a contract with the translator and gotten a really good deal financially.
That is very interesting to everyone. So this is for them to translate it. Translate to Spanish, right?
Translate to Spanish, and the lady is one of the professors at the university, and that would be some avenue to get some contacts for later getting it translated by a student and by a professor that it might be free, my next book. And she actually, for someone who's certified and has a master's and teaches in the university, it gave me a better deal than somebody who doesn't have those credentials.
That's awesome. That's great news.
And
Yes,
she wouldn't do
Kathy.
anything until she wouldn't do anything until she read that first chapter and she savored it and she translated it herself until I soul connected and all that kind of stuff. And I was impressed with that because it's really important that if she translates that book, she really gets the essence of how to translate it.
So, so what is one of the first things you can do to promote the book in Spanish?
To promote the book in Spanish, the only thing that I was thinking about was making sure that got promoted ahead of time the way not the other one was. So I was saying, wow, so that's as far as I go, and as far as I go in terms of putting, the timelines in the contract, because I really want to start promoting it.
And one of the first things I would do if I were you would be to send a notice to the newspapers and the television stations in Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So the book will be in Spanish. Let's let the Spanish-speaking people know about the book. And you have an advantage that not everybody has, because you have a niece that's there that knows the
business, and then, but as you know, she has like 3 jobs juggling all the time.
Right.
She does have a connection, but I do want that book to get into the libraries of Puerto Rico, especially in the universities and the local library, because it will be meaningful to people. And it's part of one of the purpose I wrote the book, because the purpose of the book is visibility for that population and respect and honor of the integrity of the Puerto Rican people. And so even though I think my series of books will be global, I wanted that first book to honor the family and honor.
Right.
So it's really important that it gets accessible to people in the libraries, because I really think that book there probably will be studied by middle schools and high schools. This is my hope, because I think the content really resonates with, if you want to teach history and how the way it was and how it is, and where we're going.
And so Kathy Horizon has just said she has a friend who teaches education at the University of Houston with an emphasis on culture awareness of the Latino culture. So she's going to put you in touch with her.
I would appreciate it, because that's the target population I want to work with in doing this seminar that we, when I talk to you about the next step for people, it could be in service, it could be pre-service for people who are really going to be enhancing classroom friendly and counseling friendly for the population.
And all of that can be put in a press release. Mm-hmm. So I want you to all of you use press releases to tell your story, to tell your background, to tell your why. And we have so those of you that are not familiar, we have a great press release writer, 2 of them actually. Kathy, who's got all kind of experience with churches and education and the whole education community. Her daughter's an author. So we have Kathy, and then we have Valerie, who writes freelance for the Houston Chronicle. So both of them are great press release writers. And so that's something that we have that I think is like a leg up on a lot of PR firms here in Houston. So definitely we'll have you. So Kathy, if you can kind of, as you do that introduction, if you could also kind of think about a press release for Delia to announce that her book's coming out. And I don't think we have to wait till it is in Spanish. I think you've signed a contract. So let's go forward with the PR now.
Right, and then I actually need to improve my press release, giving it targeting that population, because my press release wasn't written to target that population.
Right.
The population who really needs to.
We'll send it out.
Go ahead.
We'll send it out here as well to English-speaking people.
Mhm.
But we will definitely let this, and we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people in Houston. I don't know about Montgomery, if you have a lot of Spanish-speaking people there, but we have a huge Spanish-speaking population here, probably as much as English. So,
Yeah. I know Houston very well. I told you I lived in Houston when my first base as a stewardess was in Houston. When Houston was a small town, by the way.
and someday,
Houston
who
was a small
knows?
town. And so
Someday,
yeah.
someday your son may sell it to Sony as a movie. Who knows? So,
Well, I am priming him for that, but my son gets hit by writers all the time.
I'm sure he does. I'm
Oh.
sure he does. So
And
that's why we're not going to hit him up for that. We're going to just keep on till it's his idea.
my son, if he sees it's moving and he sees potential, he'll find the contacts.
Her son is like vice president of Sony International. So, but we're not going to hit him up. Yes, I'm sure. As soon as I met him, I'm like, I'll bet he gets everybody he meets.
I'll add that he's the technical assistant person. He's in charge of all of technology and a little bit in the a lot of connections with the top directors and the whole production. He's in the entertainment piece,
right?
Not products of Sony.
Right. Got it. Okay, thank you, Delia. So let's move to Julie. Julie, any new information for you? Any new marketing ideas? Anything?
Well, let me mention two things. First, after Monday night, I did send an email to John Kramer.
I saw him commenting on you for sure. So,
well, he responded back and he gave me the list he said about all the different spots we can post on or whatever. But he also said that he looked at my name and my name was #1 on the list, and that is wrong. He just
Julie, I have to tell you, it was on mine too. So
no,
after
Dr. Julie Connor is the first.
No. The night out. Now I searched for you that night, and you did not come up #1. But I went back a couple of days later and searched for it, and you came up #1, and it was your author. I went to it. It was your author thing that came up for me. Now that's me searching for you. It
Right.
may not be the same for you searching for you. So
well, I just looked this morning, and I'm back where I was before. I'm same place, about #4 down on the list, and I'm working to get my description longer and so forth, so maybe it'll do better in SEO, who knows. Anyway, I'm working on that. I'm just saying, I did write to John Kramer. He did answer, although for me his answer showed that he didn't see what he was looking for.
But he could have. I'm telling you, I looked, and now the first thing it asked me is, do I want Julie space Connor space author, or do I want JulieConnorAuthor.com? And I'm clicking JulieConnorAuthor.com, and that comes up #1 for me.
Good, but it doesn't for me.
No,
So
you need to keep searching. Okay, go ahead.
The next thing is I'm just asking this about John Kramer. I'm very happy. I'm impressed that he did email me back, even though I had thought, and everyone who was on Monday night, please correct me, I thought he said if we emailed him and asked, he would promote us somehow or other on all of his different contact links and so
I'll
forth.
have to go back and look to see what he said, because I know I don't remember for sure. Does anybody remember exactly what he promised to do, Lydia?
That's what I thought.
He said if you'll email me your website link, I'll promote it. So
That's what I heard.
He may be and of course give him some time, because he may be.
Well, we don't know how he's going to promote it either.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I figure if he just tweets it once, that's better than nothing, you know?
I just got the links regarding the podcasting, and I emailed him that night. So
Yeah,
I just got that this morning. So give him a little bit of time.
Well, I got that too. That's what I got. I didn't get an email saying, I tweeted your website or whatever.
He may be going down the list as a checkoff. You know what I mean? When you're trying to get stuff knocked off your list, he may be going down that list. So maybe responding to all the podcasts and then going back and doing the rest.
Could be. Anyway, that's an update. Now, marketing. I think I might have mentioned this before. I can't remember. I decided I've had this continuing problem. Sandy was just talking about press releases, but unless you send press releases one by one by one by one, you have to go through some kind of service. Now, I tried doing it by Fiverr and just buying their list, and I tried mail merge, and I tried all kinds of things. None of it worked. So I tried something totally different, which was the Independent Book Publishing Association, IBPA, has a new service where they will send out, it's actually a request for a review, but they send out information about your book to about 3,000 different book-related media and podcasts and so forth. So that is all set up, and it should go out. I think it's like September 10th or so.
How much was that?
I think it was about $300. So I'm going to try it, see if I have any results. It does two things for me. It asks for anybody wants to review my book, and it also just puts the book title and cover in front of 3,000 people, theoretically. So this is a new service by IBPA. They've only been doing it like a month or 2 months, and they're very honest. They say their results have varied. You know, one of these elicited one request for a book to review, as few as one, and others elicited like 15. So it is a new service, and we'll see. But I had to try something else because I just don't have the time to go one by one by one.
It is time. It's honestly very time consuming. I can tell you, you will never get the results from sending hundreds at a time that you will from the one-on-one, because you have a chance to personalize them and say, and build that. Remember, and this is one of the things that John Kramer, I learned this from him. Building relationships. Marketing is building relationships, period. So you're not, and now I'm not saying don't do the $300 one, because I would do it in a heartbeat. So yes, I do those. I send out, the last time I sent out a press release for, it was last week. So whatever we were doing, I sent out a press release, and I sent it to, I did pay a couple $100 because I sent it to Fiverr and to someone there who would send it out to the world, and they didn't charge like $15. They charged $75. And then I sent it out to another one that was about that. And I don't have this, the thing that irritates me about all of them is I will gladly pay $100 or more to get that list of all the places they send the press release. Even to get it where you just click on it and you can see it. And I did not get it. And I didn't get it the time before. So I'm still sending out the press releases in addition to the one. Now, I always send them out one by one for a certain number of people, and not a certain number of media. But I still like to give that blanket a look to Google. Because if somebody's searching for the keywords, and I make sure the keywords are in the title of the press release, and somebody searching for those words will find it. So, and I always go search later and make sure it could be found. So, so Julie, maybe you and I could have a separate conversation about this, because you can pay a lot of money to PR Web or one of those. To get, I just found a new one called News Release, I think, and they were like $159. That's the minimum amount. You can pay a lot more. So I will focus some more of my time and effort on the method of sending press releases and put something together that we could put in the group that you can go to anytime you want to look for it. There was one guy on Fiverr that would not just send me the PDF with a link to the places, but he would actually send me the list. And I have several of those from people that I sent out press releases during that time. But I have to go back and find him, and he may be one of the people that they notified me was no longer with them. So anyway, yes.
So the third thing that I'm working on right now, this week, today, is I decided my book is now in paperback, ebook, and audiobook, if I ever get the file from the narrator versions. What I don't have is a hardback. So I've decided to go ahead and pop for the $50 setup fee from Ingram Spark and get my hardback listed. And one of my purposes here is I'm going to buy some of my own hardback books and give them away as Christmas presents. It's as good a Christmas present as anything I can give.
And that would make a beautiful hardback book too with that cover, I think. That's great. So where are you getting them printed?
Ingram Spark.
Okay. So if I were you, I would, once you get it set up, find out what the per book cost is from Ingram, and then go shop around for some printers that might be able to do you 50 copies of something like that. Less. If you can find it less, it may be that Ingram has the best price. I don't know.
Well, at this point, having lost America's Best, and they recommend a company up in Dallas, I think just go with Ingram Spark.
Okay. Because I am going to check the one in Dallas to get a quote for the book that we're doing on platelet-rich plasma. So I'll let you know if it's better than Amazon or enough to fool with, because if you don't save a certain amount, it's not even really worth it. So thank you, Julie. You always have a lot going on, and I love talking to you and finding out all the new stuff you're trying. CJ, either something new from John, or just something new you're trying?
Well, he sent me the list this morning, and I glanced through it. I'm on about half of what he sent me. So there are other ones that I can still apply to regarding the podcast. So.
Okay. So that's what you're going to do, apply for new podcast places to have your podcast?
Yeah, like I said, there's only about 3 or 4 on that list that I'm not in already. So I kind of jumped his list a little bit. But for the most part, it's just keep everything spinning that's currently up, which is quite a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is. You guys have a lot going on right now. Red, something new that you're doing.
Well, I write a blog every day and I post it to LinkedIn. I post it to Facebook. I've been doing that since the first of the year. And I was looking through, actually, before I get to that, with John Kranick, I became friends with him on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And then we've had some emails back and forth. I followed up with Louise Dewey. I think you know her, don't you?
Yep, I do.
She has Joe Vitale's personal email.
Oh, good.
And so I sent that to him as a follow-up from last week's meeting because he was asking for it. So anyway, we've exchanged a few emails back and forth on just various things he's liked, some stuff I've had on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And so we kind of have a little bit of relationship going there with John.
That's great. That's awesome.
And then when I looked at his website under one of his topics, I think it's social media or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, marketing. Anyway, he had a very long information sheet on LinkedIn. He calls it the ultimate cheat sheet for your profile. He goes through each part of that thing, and I'm in the process of trying at this time to update my LinkedIn profile, make it a little bit more tweaked, better than it is now. So, but there must be at least 100 things that are under social media, articles that are written by all sorts of people, stuff that he's written. So from that perspective, that's what I've done from a follow-up.
Great. And he does have lots of stuff that you could read that he's written or he's sharing from other people. I spent some time this morning going over, and now I don't know where it was, but it was Seth Godin. He had a whole article from Seth Godin on marketing for authors. And so I was looking through all of that. Lots of really good stuff he had on there. So just scroll around on it. Sometimes you can just, you'll just scroll down. I did see the social media thing you're talking about, Red. But if you haven't gone to his website, he's got a ton of things under each topic. The first one's book marketing. Then there's publicity, not as much, but he's got publicity tips and resources, newspaper book review editors. He's got a list of every book review editor in the United States. Now, it's not current. All of it's not wonderful because I did see that I don't think he's got the right one from the Houston Chronicle. But he's got an email address there that could very well be that you could, you could find out who is the new book publishing editor. Then he's got the online marketing. That's where you'll find the social media, but also cello seminar, webinars, slideshows, podcasting tools, lots of good stuff there. Then under publishing, ebooks, authors, this is for authors. So, and then he's got Get It Now, which I'm guessing that's things that he's selling or giving away. But anyway, there is so much. You just cannot, unless you scroll through it, you can't imagine the wealth of information that is there. So if you're ever stuck, just like I don't know what I'm going to do next, go to his website, bookmarketingbestsellers.com. Go there, just scroll through until you see something that interests you. Go in it, pick one, read it, see. And any of you can do the one that Red's talking about, the social media, because he's right. I'm scrolling down page. So and there's lots on Pinterest. So he was saying that he sells more books on Pinterest than any other social media site. But that means you can't just sign up and have a Pinterest account and then automatically sell books. It means you have to work it. And work it is what he does. Night and day, he works. His wife, as long as I've known him, his wife has been very ill. So at least for the last 15 years, they had to actually move to another state where she could be in weather that was better for her. So he works round the clock. He works on this stuff. So lots of good information for you. So Tarina, well, you were there Monday night, right? Yeah. So did you get any new tips or anything for your marketing?
Well, just really how to connect with potential readers using social media, in the follow through using social media, being able to be a little bit more creative. I have to think outside the box a little bit more, because I am a face-to-face person, and being able to use video conferencing a lot more. I am trying to beef up my skills, and do a little bit more with social media, repurposing things that I have done on social media too. Learning how to do that more effectively is something that I'm definitely going to start implementing.
My suggestion to you is just pay attention. Pay attention on here, pay attention on Monday nights, pay attention, go to the website, go to John's website, Book Marketing Bestsellers, and just look and just pay attention to something that will be. Now, you're not going to find one that says, Tarina, this is for you. But you're going to find one that you're like, that's a great idea. And as soon as you read something and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I'd thought of that, or that's a good idea, pay attention to it. But always contact me and say, would this be something that would work for me? Okay. Because, not everything does work for everybody. So, but be open. Just be open to hearing something that would be a little different than you might have thought of before. Sure. Pay attention to Julie. Just listen every time she talks, because believe me, she tries everything. So pay attention to her. CJ is a great marketer. And so, and branding and all of that. So pay attention to her. And then, you got plenty of examples here.
Greg has been our trailblazer in audiobooks. He got me hooked. And now
yes, he did. So Greg, absolutely. And Greg's got a great group. So one of your stories might be a great idea for Greg's anthology. So, that would give you a whole new, so if you do something with Greg and Joanna and their anthology, that's a whole new group of people for you to be part of. Sure. And remember, it's all about building relationships. So having a relationship with Greg and with Joanna, the person that helped him with authorology, is a great thing to do.
And Fern's actually a part of it with Inklings Publishing. She's the one
right. Fern with Inklings Publishing is the sponsor of the whole program. So definitely pay attention. Thank you, Tarina, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to have you with us. Athena, any new marketing for you? We were talking about some stuff the other day, but anything else?
Okay, so I've been updating some of my social media, and what I'm doing is I'm starting to add the correct hashtags
Good, good.
of what I write. So that makes it easier for like-minded writers to find me, and so that we can connect, and readers, because that way it shows them straight away what you write. So if they like it, they're going to go check you out. So I've started doing that, and I've got a very busy Pinterest, but it has nothing to do with writing. So I'm going to perhaps split it up somehow, or create a second page so that I can create that that about writing, because I get very good a lot of followers, and people follow my pins and they save them a lot and all of that. But it's all about beauty and dogs and cats and things like that.
Well, then you don't have to start over or create a different page. Just create some boards that are about books and about writing, and put those in with the others, and people will start paying. That's what I had to do, because mine were all about PR, and then I added quotes, and then I added some.
Yeah, I've got those, and I've got 2 boards about writing.
Okay,
But
well then
it's,
just, yeah,
yes,
that's
but everything that had to do with my books, I removed from Pinterest. Go
okay.
figure. So none of that is on Pinterest about my own work, but everything else exists there.
Well, I think
And
I think you should have Jesse on Pinterest.
you know, so so anyway, so that's what I'm doing. I'm updating things, and then of course James and I are looking at the podcasts,
Right, right.
and that's interesting because we've got quite a few ideas about how to do it and all of that. So, and that's where we are so far. So
Yeah, that's
instead of putting too many ideas and getting lost because you don't know which one to tackle.
right, right. You don't want to come up with so many ideas that you're working a little bit. You want to
Yeah.
have 2 or 3 that you can really focus on.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I'm updating things, adding hashtags and things like that. And I've already had a bunch of new followers on Twitter and all those kind of things. Like-minded writers, we all finding each other again.
That's great. That's awesome. So good. Athena, yay. I'm excited. And so James, you're next. I just want to say I'm very excited. I did have a call with James last night to talk about them doing a podcast on publishing or some related topics. And I'm very excited about that. So good job. Yay. So James, you're up next.
Okay, so as you know, as you said, we were talking about podcasting. So I've been spending a lot of time on, researching some podcasts and things like that, looking at what podcasts I should go on. I have a podcast set for October. Don't remember the woman's name and the show name, but I have one set up for the October.
That's you
date.
speaking on somebody else's podcast.
Right, that's me speaking on somebody else's podcast. Of course, we're going to put together a podcast show of our own for Rock Hill Publishing, and my phone is sliding and everybody's moving around. But I'm back at work now, so.
And I always forget that, and I'm like, okay, there's his dog right behind him, but I forget that that's your background picture.
Yeah,
so.
That's the Beastie, and he's a certified good dog. My grandson comes over.
Good dog.
Yeah.
CGD.
Yes, my grandson comes over and he keeps telling him he's a good dog. He's a good boy. So that's one.
And one of the things I did want to say in relating to James and him creating a podcast is that we did start a podcast for David Shine. If you haven't listened to it, it's on his Facebook page. He's very conservative, and so it's a lot about what's going on in the world today. And David is also dean of. He's just been promoted actually to dean at the University of St. Thomas. So he wanted to do a podcast, and his assistant is good at the video editing, and so we have it all set up where he does. We've got music added to it, everything, and it's on. The video of it is on YouTube. We're working on getting the audios now on all the other sites. So that's something that James and I'll be working on as well. The good thing is Zoom separates it for you. So even if you know how to do editing, you can just download the audio and have it ready just to add the music and upload it to, I forgot the name of, what's the name of that app, CJ, that you told us about long ago that you use to upload to all the other places?
Anchor FM for the podcast.
What is it? Anchor?
The podcast is Anchor FM.
Okay, Anchor FM. So James, look for that and go ahead and get that
Yeah,
app.
I got
Yeah,
that
it
app.
gives
I
you
think.
the RSS feed for the other ones, James.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I do know how to do some of these things. It's a matter of putting it all together. So I've been looking at some of this stuff for a while now. So yeah, I have an Anchor FM. I know about putting things on the RSS feed so that people can subscribe to and it goes out. So that's one thing. I've been looking at my 3 books that are in progress to decide which one I should do next. Well, actually 2 books in progress because the 3rd book has to come out after the next one. So the Killer series, I already wrote the last 2 versions, the last 2 books in the Killer series. So basically I can't put out the last book, of course, until I put out the 3rd book. And so that means, do I do the Killer series or do I do the Gemstone series, which is the 2nd book after Tell, the Emerald Lady? So now I'm looking at that. I got more words in Killer with Black Blood, but naturally I just have more words. It don't mean it's any more completed than
Right.
the Ruby Cradle.
You need to get your editor on that.
Yeah, she's gonna get it soon. But I was looking at the word counts and seeing where was I. I'm on like the 2nd edit of the Ruby Cradle, and that's only to about, I don't know, 39,000 words or something like that. I don't really go by word counts. I just go by completion of story. But I would like to get the word counts up to at least 50, 60 something thousand, at least above 60,000 if I can. And
So Lydia is saying to be scientific and flip a coin. So
yeah. But see, I keep thinking about writing the Ruby Cradle, but I keep thinking about Black Blood more. It's like, okay, well, that one's really in my mind, so maybe I should just go and finish that story and push that one out next. So
yeah, we need to have a book launch for you sometime eventually. We've had book launches for everybody else, so we're gonna have to.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to decide. Which one do I want to do the book launch and then be able to launch the next book in that series? So that's where I'm at.
And you will figure it out, I know.
I know.
Lydia.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
John Kramer was very interesting. I haven't had a chance to track down some of his stuff yet because I've been busy formatting books this week. One of the things that I'm working on is I'm going to create a paperback version of Magic Cats. And anybody that's gotten the hardback knows that it's 8.5 by 11, and it's hard, and it's landscape. Well, they don't make that in paperback on Ingram. So I've been working at converting it to an 8.5 by 8.5. And so far it's working. I'm having to get a little creative with the page layouts, but it's working. And it's kind of a fun challenge. So working on that, and I've got to finish my own Christmas story for the Texas Sisters.
yes.
So that's high on my things to do list. So anyway, but I look forward to getting everybody else's submissions. I've read Kathy Hoizen's, and it's very sweet. I loved it. And Rox and Charles Berkey sent one, and that was a lot of fun. It's just fun having happy endings. It's the holidays.
It is.
Let's just, let's just chill and enjoy. And of course, because it's me, mine are going to have kaiju in it. So if you don't know what a kaiju is, Godzilla is a kaiju. So,
What does that mean?
Well, this is going to be a very kaiju Christmas. The reindeer are going to get sick, and the kaiju around the world are going to have to help Santa.
That does that. I love all the
I
creative
love it. I love it.
ideas. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's my inner 12-year-old. I'm having fun. So,
Good
As
job.
dark as I am, mine has a happy ending. So when you
okay.
get mine, you will see, even though it has to do with the devil, it
As long
does
as
have
you
a happy
guys
ending.
win, James, it's
Great.
okay.
Santa and the devil, but it's a good ending. It's a happy ending.
Okay. Okay. Very cool.
Okay, good job, Lydia. Kathy Helisen.
Yes.
So any new marketing ideas that you've come across with following John or just in your own?
Well, just the one by one by one. I've spent a lot of time this week sending out emails one by one by one, and I've gotten a little bit of response. I've got one library in Ohio that said, "Would you mind doing a Meet the Author video?" And they sent me a couple links of what they want, and it's really simple. It's just the author talking into a camera with their book propped up so people can
That's
see
a
it.
great idea.
And
Great
so,
idea.
yeah, and that was a result of sending out not a press release, but just an email saying, here's the links to where you can get the review copy.
Yep.
And yesterday I talked to this friend that I was telling Delia about, because I was looking to track down history professors who might consider writing a review of the book. And I figured she's in the system, she might know some. And I knew, but I'd forgotten that her emphasis is teaching teachers how to teach. And so she said, well, I want to review the book because it sounds like it would be good supplemental material for.
Kathy, I'm going to interrupt you 1 second. Red, contact me about you doing a podcast, because I love that you do all the blogs, but I want to talk to you about doing some more videos. Okay? Okay. Kathy.
Okay. So anyway, she said, I've got 2 people I will pass the information on to, and I would like to have a review copy because it sounds like supplemental reading for classrooms that my teachers need to know about. So
wow, that's great, Kathy. That's great.
You know, so one by one is slow go, but I think the results are much higher than blanketing the entire universe with information that it just gets lost.
So Julie, patience is a virtue. And it is slow, but it does mean that you can follow up. So if you're going to be pitching yourself to podcasts, that's a one by one by one, because you have to do the research on each one of them before you send the pitch. So, so one by one is slow. But sending out just like hundreds at one time, you get the visibility, and that's why I like both. You get the Google response and all that, but you rarely have someone contact you when they see your email. Now, I don't know that that's true of the IBPA thing you're talking about. I can't wait to see the test to see how that works out. That'd be great. If it works, it's definitely worth $300. So we'll talk about that. Okay, Kathy, anything else?
No, just I guess what I'm doing, I have a Chicken Soup for the Soul for the writer's soul that my daughters gave me for Mother's Day. It's old. It was published in 2010, but I read an essay a day from that, and it's really encouraging because pretty much everybody has an essay in there. Did this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So that's encouraging. That
you're not alone in that, for sure.
Well, and you might have some success that feels wonderful, but then you're going to have some setbacks, which doesn't feel so good. But you just got to keep going. Got to keep plowing ahead.
Surf the waves, Lydia said. So that's
yeah,
great.
Exactly.
So I'm going to let you all go. I just want to say have a great holiday weekend. Remember, Monday is Labor Day. We will still be here. We'll be here for Author Talk, and we'll be here Monday night. So we're not going to take the day off. So if you do, that's fine. Enjoy it. Have a great time. If not, then we'd love to see you here on Monday night. And I'll be announcing, Fern is going to be speaking herself Monday night, and we'll be announcing what she's going to be speaking about. Something around the world of publishing, I'm sure. So you guys have a great weekend.